In my life, I've caddied all over the world. I've caddied for some of the greatest golfers in the world.
Today, it's the Seve of old. Nothing can contain his flair and invention. Quite simply, in the darkening gloom, he sparkles.
Afterwards, it's easy to say that you were the luckiest man in the world at that point to get Seve, where he played probably the finest golf any golfer's ever played.
That was an astonishing shot. Incredible man.
That's the thrill of it, I think, for a caddy, you know, if you get there and you see your player doing well and just feel a buzz again, and it's hard to just walk away from that, I find. I just enjoy it. I just thoroughly enjoy being a caddy.
It was in 1988 that Yorkshireman Ian Wright, who grew up in the seaside town of Redcar, was offered the opportunity of a lifetime. It would take him on an unforgettable journey with one of Europe's most prestigious golfing talents, Seve Ballesteros.
Working for a top golfer is a different world. And the thing is, you'll become part of the scene, the entourage. Everybody wants to talk to you. Autographs, which I'd never signed before, hardly. All of a sudden, you're part of the demand. Photographers, press.
For us. Tell us about that little shot there, the third shot here at the 18th.
Well, first of all, I just...
You're under pressure that way to keep people happy. And not only that, the public, you know, keep them happy, the kids signing autographs. Sometimes you'd feel he'd be in his own world and he'd charge past a few, and once or twice, I must be honest, I'd grab him and say, hey, a couple of kids there, sign the books for him, so, you know, because he'd go into his little bubble, his world. I went in with my open mind, the way I do. I had my way of working things. I was going to be me, for one thing. I wasn't going to change. I didn't know what to expect, really. Just stood there at the front of the clubhouse, it went bang, the bag went down. Said, that's yours, I don't want it back till Sunday. You're in charge of that. Whatever's in, but don't ever put a number 3 ball in my bag. Ever. And that, he said it so firmly, I knew that was a thing. So I said, okay. So I went into the locker room, got the bag ready. He said, right, 10:30, first tee. Okay. Went the first tee. And we just went off. He didn't want any yardages, just pulled the clubs himself. And he ran me round for, 13 holes. Ken Brown had started 2 hours early, and we passed him after 9 holes. That's how fast we were going. And he was banging in birdies and pars. And he was playing superb, actually, just for a practice round and no yardages. And gets round to about 14th it was, and all of a sudden he slows down. He says, well, he says, you're pretty fit. I said, yeah. I like to think I keep myself fit. He says, do you drink much? I said, no, I don't drink, which was a lie at them times, of course. I said, I drink a glass of red wine occasionally. So then I'm thinking, okay, so we'll play the next shot. And he says, yeah, you've good speed there. He says, how do you train then? Oh, I said, sex 3 times a day keeps me fit. And that was it. He burst out laughing. He totally relaxed. And that's where the atmosphere totally changed. And that's where I felt we came together. At that point, with that stupid comment, I don't know why I blurted that out, I just came out the head, you know. Then we went into the Open. On our 4th event was the Open.
In 1988, with Ian on his bag, Seve claimed his 3rd Open title at Royal Lytham. A thrilling final round 65 saw him beat Nick Price by 2 strokes in one of the greatest duels in Open Championship history.
Head-to-head was phenomenal. And they were both the same. They were pleasant to each other, but they got on with the challenge, you know. But you could see them both knuckling down. But you saw, I just knew that he got it. His mood never changed. He was still there, relaxed, in the sense of the moment. I don't know how you feel it, you sense it. And I sensed it with him. I felt comfortable. I didn't feel too under pressure myself, you know, because I just felt, even though it was such a close battle, we just got the edge, you know. He's moved, his attitude, everything about it, the way he was putting, everything, the prowls on the putt, everything was there. And it just, as it happened, it just all fell into place. And the chip was the crowning moment for me. I mean, say that was Seve all over. The great recoveries.
Flipped up. He's got the pace. Oh, he's got the pace magnificently. And another body blow for this brave battler, Nick Price.
It means everything, really. It means for me, it's your step into the big time. You've made it to win a major. How many caddies win an Open? How many caddies win a major? Normally, a lot of times it's the same caddy as well. So there's not many majors shared around. So to win a major says to me, you're getting to the top of the tree.
In she goes. 65 strokes. Seve is once more the champion.
You've made the grade at last. You can call yourself a caddy then, can't you? Winning a major. And it's everything around it, the buzz, the crowds. You were thought of differently, I think. I felt you were thought differently. But you still felt you still had something to prove as well, Because that's just that very early on in our relationship anyway. We fortunately went on to win quite a few more events, didn't we? In our 2.5 years together, and I think then I realised, well, I think I've made it now. Gave me the fact that I bought my first ever home, and that was my dream, and that's what I got out of it.
That Open was the final major victory of Seve's career, before back problems started to take root. Tension between player and caddy started to build both on and off the course.
Come to the following year, we were ending up first off last day in Scotland. It was totally different. His form had gone, the temper was there a bit now. Things had changed. He was not the same person. We went into the 90 season, we had a win, fortunately, and I thought maybe that might just turn the corner, but it didn't, and things got worse and things deteriorated, and the language and the exchanges got more frequent. And then we got to Shoal Creek in America. We're level par, 1 over. We were going along very nicely for the PGA, any score like that, and we're on the 14th, par 3. And I've took the flag out exactly like I normally do, my routine, take the flag away, let him read the putt. Then I went to 10. He barged it about, must have been 20 foot past the hole uphill. Give it a right clout. So then he's missed it coming back, and then I've gone to the side of the green, and he's come over and said, "That was your bloody fault. Didn't take the flag out fast enough." Well, that was it then. I said, "Don't be so bloody stupid." I says, "You're 1 over now, cruising along in the tournament. Now just knuckle down and finish off the round. You're in great shape. Don't you talk to me like that." And that's where the blow-up took, first blow-up took. And that was the first time I'd really answered him back, because I took all I could take for the last 6 months. So then we go down next hole, and then we get on to the 17th, par 5. We've laid up. Get to the yardage, takes the club, chunks it into the water, short the green. Well, that was it then. Verbal abuse, which I would never ever repeat. And that was it. I just said right there and then, I said, when we walk off this 18th, I said, you'll find the bag by the side of the 18th. I said, I don't take that from anybody, what you've just said to me there.
Their professional relationship was damaged beyond repair, and their friendship also never fully recovered after they parted ways.
To be perfectly honest, we didn't speak for a long, long time. It was only when I went down to, must have been Wentworth, and I walked across and talked to him, stood and waited to talk to him. He was talking to somebody on the range. It was difficult, to be honest. He just turned round, I held my hand out to shake hand, he tapped my hand, just said, "Oh, nice haircut," and went back to practicing. I said, "Okay, if you don't want to talk, then we won't talk." And it was sad, really, because we had such great times together. And I always regret that we couldn't be friends afterwards. And it was probably because of the way things finished and what he says to you. And I like to think he felt a little bit guilty about what he said to me at the time.
Without your support, I don't think I would be a champion right now. Thank you.
Seve, thank you very much.
For 18 months, I watched perfection.
Magic of Seve Ballesteros has come alive at Royal Liverpool.
I watched the genius at work. I watched him go to #1 where he wanted to be. I watched him win a major. I watched him 6 or 7 tournament victories and finishing top 10 literally every other week, basically. And had the greatest time of my life, really, being there with him, being the luckiest man in the world to just be there. Seve. How do you put it into words? When he smiled, the whole world smiled with him.